I really don't know what I'm talking about. So, hey, my Caroline, how are you?
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for letting
1
me in
minute
the
as well.
box.
And when people's in here, they were having a debate. Stop saying, do this for Top Goal, do this for Ansari, do this for this one. Let people speak. If they want to speak, let them speak. But if I get a violation, I'll just have to end and come back. It's people can have their opinions in these boxes. Right, sorry. Go on.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you so much for letting me in the box there, Pearl.
You're welcome.
Just a few things, really. What Faye was saying was lovely that she was able to get into a hotel.
Yeah.
Thank heavens for that, Faye. I worked for the homeless for, over 5 years in the north of England.
Yeah.
And I just felt very sorry for, having to feed people in the cold, hot food and clothes and everything. And I know it's very hard to house everybody, but it does sort of pull your heartstrings when people can get, into a hotel sort of straight away. Although, as Alicia said, it is the bare minimum, and I do understand that. But some other people just don't even have that.
Thank you, my evil bush.
They're living in tents, in the cold. They're living from one hot meal to another. All the time, which it really hurts my heart that this is happening.
Yeah.
As for, I think we need people from overseas for our NHS. If you took people out of the NHS that work for us, whether they're doctors, nursing, or in the healthcare, it collapse. We need people. But on the other hand, it's like a weighing scale. You also have people that are coming over, okay, and they're not doctors, they're not nurses, they're not coming for the healthcare. If they don't throw their certificates into the sea when they come over. There's a different part of it as well. But when I'm saying this, I don't want to wrap everybody in the same. In the same sheet there. Because there are people that are running from, distress in their country. Exactly. One thing Cockapoo said, which I'd like to reply to, was saying about they're fleeing from, men are fleeing from their,
sorry, everybody. Sorry, one minute. Whoever was in the boxes before I had to restart, you can request the boxes again, get back in. Sorry. But keep it calm. Sorry, go on.
No, that's okay. That, in one way, I disagree with, because, when we were at war, my father, he stood up to our country, and he fought for what is right. He didn't run away in a boat and go to another country. And if he did, he would never leave his family there. He'd have taken us with us too, because he loves us too much to have left us in a war-torn place. But when I'm saying all this, please do not think that I'm saying this against everybody. It is a minority that is doing that, but that's just what I wanted to say, really.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Like in my opinion, it's like if you're in a country that doesn't have many resources to fight maybe another country that probably has, the world's resources and more, it's like, you're seeing literally everything around you turn into rubble. It's like, do you really have an option? And the other thing is you're right. I don't think everyone coming over is as skilled as people may want them to be, but that's not the end. It's not to say that they can't come and acquire a skill that can give to society. Like, in the end of the day, like, I'm from African and Irish descent. Both sides of my lineage have been oppressed, right? Do you know what I'm saying? In history, right? Due to where they're from. And that's not really fair for someone to be cut short on their possibilities in life just on a basis of where they're from. I do really think that the problem that we have in this country right now is the government's allocation of resources and money. right?
Yes.
These applications are backlogged, and this is the reason why we are even having to house these
Thank
people
you.
in these hotels, house them in different buildings that are being rented by the government for absurd, crazy amounts of money, may I add, right? And you know, this money could be put in much better places to deal with the issue in a much better way, in my opinion.
Totally agree, T. Totally agree.
Can I
It's
just
the money is actually gone to the wrong places. It doesn't matter about who you vote for or what you actually stand for in this country, because at the end of the day, everybody has got a life, and lives aren't being stood up for, especially in our own generation. I mean, this has went on for generations and generations, okay? But we're actually, the government is going backwards instead of forwards. We're going back to having to have food banks, people having to
Yeah.
run to get tins that somebody's put their own money into for that. Yes, you've got illegal immigrants in hotels. Where are our veterans? Where are our elderly people? Our elderly people, at the end of the day, if you have your own home, you have got to sell your own home to put your granddad, your mum, your dad into a care home and a nursing home. They have got to sell that family home to pay for that care.
Can we keep tapping the screen, please? Thank you.
And
I know it's sad. There's parts that's sad of it. I do understand that, but
we're bursting at the seams. We can't look after our own. I'm actually terrified for my own kids and my grandkids
thank you,
and their kids,
Mm.
because we do not know what's in the corner.
I mean, when
I
I
mean,
say, oh, do apologise, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
go on.
No, go on.
No, very quickly, I was just going to say, you know, see, this is it. I understand what you're saying too, Mrs. Unknown, that, you know, when we're feeding, you know, when we're, you know, taking hot food, I'm not saying for 10 to 20, it's well over 100 people. The queue for the food is over 100 people, and this is just in one town.
Yes,
You know, this is
absolutely.
across everywhere. And this is in the cold, it's raining, you know, whatever the weather, these people are standing out in a queue waiting for a sandwich or a hot meal all the time. You know, and this is 2025.
I'm sorry to
It's a
interrupt.
shame.
There is just somebody said in the comments, don't have kids if you can't afford them.
That's so stupid, isn't it?
I've held just quickly. Sorry about me shouting earlier on.
Oh, you're fine, Martina. It's a debate, so that's what happens. It's just I had to drop his all.
I'm gonna defend my son no matter what.
Of course you are. And you wouldn't be a good mother if you didn't.
But there was one comment that I did. There was quite a few comments I saw with what people were saying about him. He's definitely not 50. He's in his 40s. And he definitely isn't a PDF either. So
Oh, sorry, I never even seen that. Take no notice to the comments, Martina.
But yeah, no, right. But thanks for letting me in.
You're welcome. Not any time, Martina. Any time.
Merry Christmas to you, pal.
Merry Christmas to you, my baby. Thank you.
Can I also just point out, whilst we're all sat here arguing, our government are claiming expenses for, like, I lived 2 doors away from a mayoress and a mayor who used to claim expenses to go shopping in a fancy car rather than just getting in their old car. And, like, whilst we're sitting here debating it, the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer. But what you also have to remember is we were part of the reason why Afghan happened, why all these atrocities have happened overseas. Britain, not me and you, our government, the people that again are causing divide in our country, are the same people.
If we tried,
Manic.
But where do you think, can I just continue quickly? And we are selling the same as America. We're selling arms to these countries. We are helping these wars. We are going into countries. We're getting involved as Britain, not me and you, the higher ups. And as a country, we're in so much debt now that we're in a hole because
But it's our government who's put us on our knees.
it is. It's our government, and time
100%.
again, it's our government that are getting involved with things overseas or sending troops into countries. Where are these people from Afghan living when this war's broke out and we've gone over and got involved? What is them people meant to do?
1 million Iraqis died in the Iraq war, a war that should never have happened.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to get at.
How
So-
many British soldiers died for a war that should have never happened?
Exactly, and I'm all for the fact that, like, for instance, like your child. That I've sat down with professionals and I said, you know, if my child is autistic or whatever wrongs with my child, what would that prevent? It would prevent them from fighting on the front line. And I looked at them and I said, well, I wouldn't want them to fight on the front line. I would fight for my country, but we're not fighting for our country. We're fighting for no
Money.
purpose anymore.
Well, this is it.
I heard the rich get rich, the poor get poorer. And I tell you what, people like Pearl, who give to our community time and time again, who go out there, people like Caroline, these are the people that are given from their own. I give from my own now, like, because I know what it's like to
I had
have
a soup
nothing.
kitchen every Thursday for the
That's-
homeless.
This is what I'm saying. So we're all giving out of our pocket, but those higher up will never. And you'll work your whole life. You work to
This is
unalive.
what, sorry, my fair, this is what aggravates me about our government, and this is the part that I really don't understand, is it's winter time, right? And it doesn't matter if it's winter, summer, whatever it is, right? Our government is allowing people to be unalived on the streets because basically they're freezing till they're not breathing no
Listen,
more.
Pearl,
They're
it doesn't matter.
starving.
It doesn't
Listen
matter
to
if
this,
you've
you know,
got
in
One minute, fair. One minute, fair.
When
Sorry.
it was COVID, the government found houses for all the homeless.
Yeah.
But as soon as COVID finished, they threw them back on the
Throw 'em
street.
back out. Exactly.
So we've got the
Exactly.
places for them. It's the government. So stop blaming other people. Blame the government, the
Yeah.
higher ups.
And I
That's
just
what I'm
never
saying.
say-
Our government, in my opinion, has put our country on its knees, and they're not doing for our people here. This is what I'm saying. This is what I can't get over. They're leaving them be homeless, be starving, be nowhere to go, with no money, no nothing. And they reckon we all, sorry, Paula, oof. We all one paycheck away from the streets. So,
Yeah.
and they're sat there,
100%.
these big fat cats, eating up to time. They're eating up that
Yeah.
much they can't breathe because they're that fat. And then there's poor people on the street who hasn't got a blanket to put over them
But
at
it
night.
doesn't. You know what?
They've never really cared about us. It's like one of those
No.
things where when you start to realize that you are literally just a number on a paper, it really does sort of boil you up a little bit, doesn't it? 'Cause
Exactly.
It also
when you think
doesn't-
about it, right, yeah, it's like these people, right, they sit in their thrones, yeah, and they overlook, yeah, people that have clearly got issues in front of them, yeah. And instead of dealing with it, they choose the option that makes them more money. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's like, you know, they sit there and say, oh, the country is at its highest national security level, right? We've got national security threats every single day that could harm civilians, right? And probably because we have buildings scattered all over the country that are full of undocumented people that we don't have a clue where they're from, where they've come from, what their background is, because the funding is going into housing rather than filing through the applications to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
We
also have to-
we actually don't know any background on them, and there's not enough new houses being built.
Right, but if you look at the housing budget that the council get allocated, they get an allocation for building new houses, and most of the time it doesn't get used. So it's the local council fault. So if you research it and look at it, money is going to local councils,
Yeah.
but they're not using it.
They're not
But
using
we're not.
They are also, when you're talking about houses, if you look at any town where they're getting new developments,
Yeah, percentage of
the
it.
government is saying that they have to, these housing associations are supposed to have 6% of each estate. Okay, 6%, that is nothing. For example, around our area, we're having 1,700 houses being built. The 6%,
Like one every 20 houses or
6% of
something.
them are for people, for first-time buyers or housing association, etc. The rest are for 3-4 bedroomed houses. Who the hell can afford those? Not first-time buyers. So the people that are needing the new houses, that are needing any house, are first-time buyers. My children that are
Does that
growing
do
up.
you as well then,
want to move
Caroline?
out.
They do everything so you can't buy a house. Pearl, I'm going to go. Mia's home. I'll be back in a bit.
Okie doke, me babs.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I'm just blanking
You know
my
what
voice
though,
out.
when you
Kettle.
talk about homelessness, you think about people on the streets, you think about people in hotels, you think about all of these things. But what we all fail to realise is there's old people sitting in their homes dying. They've got a roof over their head, but unaliving.
Yeah, sorry.
They've got a roof over their head, but they don't have any heating, they don't have any electricity, they don't have food
Exactly.
in the cupboards. And the top and bottom of it is that, again, this new bill that has been, a new budget that's been brought out, they're taxing it, the taxes are going up. And the reasoning behind it was because when they put the working taxes up, old people aren't getting taxed anymore. So instead, we're going to tax income and things like that. So the pensioners' tax that they pay on their pension that they've worked their entire lives for, they have to pay more tax.
See, I don't think our pensioners should be paying anything. They should get to a certain age. They should get to a certain age, and they've been there like all their lives doing whatever, paying into everything. When they get to that pension age, I think then the government should take some of their pay cuts and see to our old age pensioners.
I'm an old age pensioner,
are-
and I got my pension this year for the first time in October. And would you believe it? Because I've got my old age pension, my private pension, hold on, has halved. Because I'm getting a state pension now, they have literally halved my private pension, which is a nurse's pension, by the way.
So
it's
now
not
are you
much
worse off than you were
for
before?
tax. I'm okay.
What's that, Vincent?
I'm okay, Pearl, but I am okay. But on the whole, talking as an old age pensioner, can you imagine? I'm paying half my pension for tax now.
That's what I mean. That's what I
In one
mean.
way, I
So
wish I didn't have my state pension.
even when the budget's coming out and saying, "Oh, we'll not tax the workers anymore," we'll not tax the workers anymore, but we'll increase this so pensioners pay.
What people fail to realise is, right, you go out to one job, but then that's not enough to cover that's not enough to cover your household. So you take on a second job. That's not enough. So maybe you go out and do a third job as well. But they didn't realise is that, yes, say 20% goes to tax on your first job. It'll be 40% on your second job. And then they'll tax you again on your third job.
Yeah.
And all they're doing is lining their own pockets. They're going home to nice warm houses, they've got food on the table, and you know what? They're partying with a drink virtually every night, laughing at us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, put the government on the front line. See how long they last.
Well, Ellie, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I have to let people have the say about all things. It's not just about anything. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the way the conversation went. Sorry.
Pero my dad's 77, and you know how much of a state pension he gets? 1p a month.
Wow. Oh, well, everybody, this turned out nice again, didn't it?
Can I just say, before I drop, I'm internally grateful that like my life ended up the way it did, and I got help from the right people in the right places, but it could have so desperately turned the opposite way. And people like you, Pearl and Caroline, and everyone that is contributing to those less fortunate,
Yeah.
and there'll be many of them in the chat. I just think they are the people that we should be looking toward, we should be following, not these people sitting in their 4-bedroomed houses getting money over and over. I think the people we need to look toward are everyone that's
Thank you,
paying it
everybody.
forward. And I appreciate you, Pearl, for all that you do, because you don't actually show a lot of it or talk about it, and I think that makes it even
Listen,
more
we
special.
do what we do because we want to, and just
Exactly.
because we see things happening with our own eyes, and we're a bit of a Kent if we just walked past and didn't.
Yeah.
So not just me, all of my
Not every
community,
single- yeah, every
all of my
single person.
community, we do what we can when it's right. And
I
we
agree.
I don't ever come on here and show anything because I don't like doing that, and neither do the others. So
No, I like I say, I don't take joy in anyone's less fortune, and I don't take joy in showing that. But I just wanted to say that.
like I say, there was only one time on here, and then it was the word I come out and said, and then everybody knows I got took to court for being greatly offensive. And from that day, there was one person on this app knew that I was paying into something, and I did, and that's my ignorance, because I thought there was only like one Black Lives Matter charity. I knew there was different areas, and when I got asked that day, which black charity do I pay into, and I just replied with, are you taking the piss? You know which charity? Because I thought it was only that one charity. But listen, that's my little way to say, like, I'm still doing something.
Yeah.
But I only had to explain that one is because I got asked barefaced about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I never ever speak at which charities or anything that I give to and what we do on a personal level. I don't.
But you see, everyone's sitting here saying, like, you know, look after your own first, look after your country. I totally agree, but that starts with you. That doesn't start with the government. The government don't care.
Yeah.
And the quicker people realise that the only way to get through life is by helping thy neighbour in your community, that is the only way you can get through. And for me, like,
Can I just answer a comment here? Something about it about deadbeats, right? But listen, we don't know any of them people that's on the street. This is my way of thinking about it. We do not know how them people come to be on the streets. I've told you before, when I worked at the hospital, they were both doctors, and by the time they'd paid everything, do you know something? They used to come in and said, we've had to go to a food bank.
I know a nurse that lives near me that is in the same position.
Yeah.
So that's what I jumped up to say. My husband is a qualified staff nurse. He has to top his wages up monthly by doing bank shifts.
Yeah.
Now he's got to quota. He done a bank shift last week, and you know he get paid at 40. I think it was 44% tax on it. So he got half his wages.
Yeah.
And it's and where's the money going to? Because we're not seeing it.
The government.
But where are they spending it? Squandering it on shitty things, not on us.
If you look in your local community, right, we have no youth centres anymore. So you can say tear away young kids and whatever. When I was a young kid, I didn't grow up with a lot, and what we had, but we had youth clubs. We had places we could go to learn, to grow. We had support workers in the community. We have no community police. The roads are undrivable. I don't know about you, Pearl, but where I am up in County Durham, our roads are horrendous.
Yeah, in the same place as you.
The flower beds, our local flower beds in our community, our local schools and local businesses help plant flowers to make it look presentable. We have people tying bins to lampposts because the bins there isn't any bins anymore that get emptied. And the top and bottom of it is, if you look in your community, your council tax goes up every year, your tax goes up every year, and there isn't a benefit to anybody. But the reason for that is because the country is in so much debt, and
But you know what I say? Bring back the good old days, because back in the good old days, everybody helped everybody. There was none of this. I'm better than you because I've got a fancier suit than you. I'm better than, 1 minute, my unknown. There was no, I'm better than you. We all helped each other. If one was hungry, we were all hungry. If one had
Yeah.
food, we all had food.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. And that's
There's
the
no
way it should
sense
go
of
back to.
community.
But like I say, the government's fucked everything up and all for lying in their own pockets. That's my opinion. But people should get off the high horses and think to myself, well, I've got this bit of excess. Yes, think about your children, your family at home, right? And always keep something for a rainy day. I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah.
But what do you need all this fancy stuff for? You don't. And when you see poor people out there, it melts my heart. I'm sorry.
And there's nothing though, Pearl, really, like, you know, where I'm from, you finish school and there was a trade waiting for you. We had the steelworks, we had the coal industry, we had all sorts of things. I'm not saying I want to send my children down to mine at 15 or send them to
No,
steelworks.
I'm not on about that.
No,
What
I know,
was-
but
what I'm
saying
saying
is,
is we all shared, we all
Yeah.
helped each other.
Uh-huh.
And it
And
was a
what-
beautiful place then.
Uh-huh.
Nobody was running about with the best of
No.
this and the best of that. We all helped each other. I don't know it could be from the community I'm from, but we still do it now. We
Yeah.
still help. If somebody was in trouble, we'd all come together and we'd all
I
help.
agree. We still do that now. So, like, our school where my child goes, there's like a handful of kids. It's not a very big school, and it's Advent now. And like I say, you know, we are what's it called? We're religious. So for our Advent, every day the child takes a dried good or a food into school, like a tin or whatever. And at the end of Advent, after the children have all donated it, it'll go to the local food bank and things like that. That's the things that we should all be doing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to.
Doesn't matter though. If you think you say we shouldn't have to, but for me, if we don't have to, then who is going to do it?
And not only
Exactly.
that,
But-
it's not a case of we shouldn't have to. You know, it's a sense of community.
Yeah.
A sense of
But
belonging.
that's long gone.
You know, even my children, you know, my children are what, in their 30s now. I mean, my son visits, you know, an elderly person, and that elderly person gets something out of it, but so does my son. You know, it's satisfying to help other people and to bring your children up to help other people. It is a satisfying thing. It's not
It
a case
is, but
of
everybody's
you
not the
don't have to
same,
do
are they?
it. It's, you know,
Right, listen, all of you that's in the box, have your last say on this because I'm changing the subject because we're just going over the same ground. We're getting nowhere with it. Everybody's had the sit-up. Everybody's had the say. And so who's ever in the box? And then we totally changing the conversation.
Okay.
Because this sounds awful, but I'm bored with it now. I'll tell you the
No,
truth. I'm not
no,
going
I
to sugarcoat
totally
it. I'm bored
at,
with it.
at the end of the day, the government is actually just puppets. It doesn't matter what government you want to go with, who you want to pick.
Exactly.
They all run under the same piece of paper. They just work
Exactly.
that
Right, my Miss
differently.
Unknown, I'm dropping you down. Thank you for your opinions on things. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
drop you down because I'm telling you I'm bored with it. Right,
you could
we've
drop-
got
you can
Caroline
drop
and
me
our
down,
tea.
Phil.
Have your last says on things.
Oh no, well, no, I've said everything really, but thank you so much for having
You're
me on.
welcome
Bless your
anytime.
heart. That's lovely. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you for
Bye, my
having me. Thank you for
Caroline.
having me.
You're welcome, my tea. Anytime, me baby. Thank you very much.
Thank
Oh
you. Thank you.
dear, that turned out nice. I'll tell the truth. I'm sitting here and I'm getting bored with it now. We've gone all over everything. Enigma. I don't understand them, so I get fucking bored with them. But all I'm saying is my opinion is bring back the good old days when we all helped each other and you didn't care who was riding about in a fancy fucking car or the best suit or the best frock. Piss off. We all have to eat, and as long as we've got a bed to sleep in, and bound from that, it's God bless them all. As long as I've got a little warm belly full of food, a nice warm bed to sleep in, I'd give everything to see everybody having that. That would be my wish in life, that everybody had a warm belly and a lovely bed to sleep in. And bound from that, fuck the wealth and all this finery stuff and everything. Living and breathing and just getting through a day is good enough for me. And if people get through a day with having a lovely bed to get into and a lovely bit of food, and more, even if it's rough and ready food, but the belly's full, that's all that counts to me. And you all know I like my belly full. Right, everybody, fuck's sake. That's my opinion. Do you know, my kid said to me, now listen, we all know, right, that my kids, they spoil me at Christmas, right? But they say every year, Mum, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, nothing. I love seeing everybody else get for Christmas. And I swear, and I mean this, and the blessed Lord God knows I'm not telling no lies, right? I always say, do not buy me anything for Christmas. But I know when Christmas morning comes around, I'll be the one that'll have the biggest pile of presents there. And they always make it special. But what's the point of buying things for buying sake, just for people to say, wow, look what she got? Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I would rather everybody else have than me. That's just the way I am. And I think that's any parent. They would rather everybody else have than them. I go where I want, when I want, and I can pay for my own self to go anywhere. I can buy myself what I want. But what's the point? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just exactly materialistic things. Now I can read that word. Perfume, you can never have enough. You can, because it goes off. But that's me. On Christmas morning, I'm not just saying this. If I woke up to a pair of knickers, so I've got 3 pair, piss off yous wanting to battle. So if I had a little pair of knickers wrapped up off each of them, get to fuck. They're aggravating me now. A little pair of knickers with no holes in them, wrapped up off each of the kids, that would make my day, because they thought about me. They bought me a present, and bam, from that, get on and count your blessings that you've got your family around you. You're having a lovely bit of food together. You've got a nice home to live in. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got each other. And that's very important to me, to have your family. You don't wear little knickers. I'll have you know. Well, the top legs, but they're always nice. But yes, I piss them a lot. It's an age thing. My mother's the same. But I used to, when I was younger, right, and my mother and my mother-in-law, God rest the two of them, and I used to say, what do you want for Christmas? And they used to say, oh, I don't want anything. And I used to, in my head, I'd be thinking, you can piss off your lie, you'll be wanting all fucking kinds. But now I'm older, I get where they're coming from. And I really do say to my kids, just listen, see to yourselves, see to your kids, I've got yous for Christmas, and that's what counts. Do you know what I mean? I think they think I'm telling lies. But how many of everything do you need? You don't. Come on. And I'll have a second-handed shop, me, I'll tell the truth. I'll pitch. If I walk past Bet Your Life before, you can say, God bless you, I'm in there, and I've got myself a product. Not knickers like, but I've got myself something out the second-handed shop. Hey, I don't know. Hello, we'll have all of the messages. There's Enigma. Are you still broke, or are you Tim? Thanks for all of the cheeky heart me's. Yes, everybody, I have been saying thank you throughout. I know I was on mute for a bit and saying thank you, but I forgot. I was on mute. Is it Levi? Levi! Reveal yourself immediately. I love doing Xmas dinner. I love dinner time. I'm Klana Enigma. I'm Klana Enigma. What does that mean? Who's Klana Enigma? Oh, is that him? What you call him? Oh, no, that's... Is it Karma? No, Cash. Oh, Enigma. Well, I tell you, it's Luke on today. No, Luke's gone to Ireland, hasn't he? He told you yesterday on the live. Hello, my sweetheart.